Hello, and welcome to day one of the NCAA's annual Diversity and Inclusion campaign. My name is Kevin Crompton, and I am a graduate assistant inside Pace University's athletic department. Today's theme is My Story Matters, exploring student athletes' identities, perspectives, and experiences. The purpose of this day is for students to showcase how they are more than just athletes and that their stories can make a difference. So we're joined now by graduate student and defensive back on the Pace football team, number 20, Eli Simmons Jr. Thanks for being here, Eli. Happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, let's talk a little football to start. All right. So you've been part of two of the best programs, two of the best teams in program history over the last two seasons, combining for 13 wins. What would you say are some of the biggest factors to the success you guys have had in recent years?
I would say some of the biggest factors is just that family environment. I think when we got here, we all understood the goal at hand, and we really wanted to come together as a family. I mean, previous years there was a family, but it had to be it had to be unity. You know what I mean? Everybody had to have the same mindset. And we also got a lot of good guys to come in, a lot of different playmakers like Carlton, our quarterback. He actually transferred with me from Lackawanna, some defensive linemen, Joshim. We had a bunch of guys that first year and second year that made a big difference for us. So I think that was a big factor as well.
What's kind of something that coach preaches or you guys, use as like a motto, to keep you guys going and be successful?
Well, Coach Rondo always says, find a way, and I really use that in my everyday life as well, because in life, situations always come up. Things will always happen in your life, and you always will have to find a way to get it done. So I kind of live by that motto, and he helps me a lot with that as well, because with different organizations that I'm in here, I always have to find a way to get my classwork, football, and then focus on anything else that I have to do. So I have to find a way.
Yeah, so you mentioned, how you're in different organizations. So let's kind of switch now and talk about some of those off-field activities that you're involved in, including a few of the Black Lives Matter rallies and, DJ Henry ceremonies as well. What's been your role in these projects? What are your biggest motivations for being involved?
Well, my role, I kind of play as the director, or I would say to get people on campus to be aware of these situations. The first rally that we actually had, Carlton Aiken, my roommate as well, he set it up and he did all the planning and stuff like that. And I was just there to help him and guide him throughout the process. You know what I mean? Get the people engaged, get our campus engaged. And then the second one that we had, the rally on campus and the vigil for DJ Henry, I was there to be a voice for the students, for our Black students that may not know what's going on campus, or they do, or they're just afraid to come. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but I'm there. I'm that voice, and I want to be there to speak out on these injustices that's going on in America.
How do you think that we can move forward? How can PACE student athletes and coaches continue to develop and maintain an inclusive and diverse environment?
I think just the coaches being truthful. I think the truth is the most important, and just being able to connect with the players through the truth. You know what I mean? These situations happen, and some coaches and staff may kind of tend to shy away from the situations because it might not be that big at the moment. But I think tackling the situation the first time is the best time to do it. You know what I mean? And telling the truth to the players and letting them understand what's going on so they won't be completely clueless in the future.
What about student athletes maybe, how can they continue to work towards this?
Oh, I would say the same way. Just speaking about these issues, like we have rallies, like we have the marches, or just little groups like we do in BSU every Monday night. We have little groups. We do coronavirus 6 feet away little groups where we talk about these situations in America. It's a bunch of students that come there, and it's a good environment, so we get to learn and stuff like that.
Awesome. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for joining us on day one of this NCAA Diversity and Inclusion Week, and just appreciate you, coming out and talking about the issues.
Yeah, thank you for having me.